Imagine thinking a royal guard is just a statue in a fancy uniform only to find out, the hard way, that he's a battle-hardened soldier. One champion fighter made that mistake, and what happened next, it was a lesson he'd never forget. Before we continue, let us know where you're watching from in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe because tomorrow, at this very same time, we're dropping another incredible Royal Guard story that you won't want to miss. The afternoon sun shone down on Horse Guards Parade in London, reflecting off the polished buttons of the Royal Guard standing at attention. Tourists gathered, snapping pictures of the iconic sight, the unwavering stillness of the guard, his scarlet tunic a bold contrast against the historic stone buildings. Then, the crowd parted. A man strode forward, his every step radiating confidence. Chai the Tiger Sombat had arrived not as a tourist, but as a champion. Fresh off his victory at the International Muay Thai Championship in Wembley, he walked with the grace of a predator, his movements precise and deliberate. The championship belt gleamed around his waist, his muscular arms decorated with intricate tattoos from his training camp in Bangkok. Chai scoffed loudly, his heavily accented English cutting through the murmurs of the crowd. In Thailand, warriors proved themselves in combat, not by standing still like furniture. With lightning-fast precision, he threw a few shadowboxing moves, his strikes slicing through the air. The tourists gasped. The contrast was striking, his fluid, aggressive motion against the guard's unwavering stillness. Yet, the guard didn't flinch. He remained motionless, disciplined, his focus straight ahead. The tension thickened. Chai, now fully in performance mode, mocked the guard further. "This is what Britain calls a warrior," he scoffed. "In my country, children train harder than this man works." A woman stepped forward from the crowd, her athletic stance and cauliflower marking her as a fighter herself. "These guards aren't just standing around," she said. "They're active-duty soldiers. Many have served in combat zones like Iraq and Afghanistan." Chai smirked. "Maybe once, but now, they're just statues for tourists." He began circling the guard, loosening up, bouncing on his feet, throwing a few kicks in the air. The crowd held its breath. Then, in a dramatic display, Chai performed the Wai Kru Ram Muay, the ritual dance Muay Thai fighters perform to honor their teachers before battle. "This is real ceremony," he declared. Not standing still like a trained dog, the guard remained unshaken. Chai stepped closer, testing him, throwing strikes inches from the guard's face, never making contact but always daring him to react. The crowd watched, captivated by the spectacle. Then, it happened. Chai's elbow snapped forward, delivering a sharp, controlled strike to the guard's jaw. Crack! The sound echoed through the courtyard. Gasps erupted. A child cried. Some reached for their phones to call the police. For a fraction of a second, the guard's head rocked back. His bearskin cap shifted slightly. But he did not move. He did not step back. He did not break formation. He simply stood, as if nothing had happened. Chai stepped back, grinning in victory. "See," he called out, "even statues can feel pain." Then he turned back to the guard. Only the guard was gone. Chai's smile faded. He spun around, scanning the courtyard. "Where?" a deep voice spoke from behind him. "That will be quite enough, sir." Chai whirled around, instincts kicking in, dropping into a defensive stance. The guard was standing right behind him. How? No one had seen him move. No one had even noticed. And yet, there he was, staring directly into Chai's eyes, his presence suddenly overwhelming. "Corporal James Harding, 1st Battalion, Grenadier Guards," the guard stated calmly. "Tutur in Helmand Province, Afghanistan, 1 in Iraq. Close quarters combat instructor for my unit." His voice was steady, controlled, unshaken. For the first time, Chai hesitated. "What you've mistaken for ceremony," Harding continued, "is discipline. What you see as weakness is controlled strength." Then, in a blur of motion, the guard struck, not a flashy move, not a showy display. Just a precise, efficient military technique. Before Chai could react, his wrist was locked in a hold, his balance stolen, his body forced down. His free hand moved to counter, but it was already too late. In seconds, the champion fighter was on his knees, completely neutralized. "This is not sport fighting," Harding said. "This is battlefield efficiency." Chai struggled, testing the grip, but the guard's hold was unbreakable. And yet, he wasn't hurting him, just controlling him, effortlessly. We do not fight for points. We do not fight for show. We fight to protect. With practiced precision, he released Chai and stepped back. The fighter straightened slowly, rubbing his wrist, his arrogance gone. In a low voice, he murmured, "I judged wrongly." The guard gave a firm nod. A common misconception. A moment later, police officers arrived, but Harding waved them off. "No injury, no need for charges. Lesson learned." Chai bowed slightly, the traditional gesture of respect. In Thailand, after a fight, we show honor, win or lose. Harding acknowledged him with a nod before turning sharply, marching back to his post. The tourists, once skeptical of the guard's stillness, now saw it for what it was, a warrior's discipline. As Chai watched him return to his place, he stood a little taller, humbled by the lesson he had just learned. The incident between Chai and the Royal Guard serves as a reminder that appearances can be deceiving. What may seem ceremonial often carries deep purpose. True strength isn't just about movement, it's about discipline, control, and knowing when to act. Have you ever misjudged someone, only to realize they had hidden strengths? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story inspired you, make sure to like this video, share it with a friend, and subscribe to Guards Moments for more incredible stories of tradition, respect, and unexpected lessons. Hit that bell icon so you never miss a new story. See you tomorrow, same time, for another unforgettable tale.